Hey, it's Gino from Stop Talking About Fragrance, and it's time for me to let you in on the ground floor of a very exciting project I'm doing with OSM Perfume. I just got a package in the mail, and within it are, I believe, a couple different versions of a perfume that we're collaborating together to create. It's based on a sense memory of mine.
We wanted to tap into olfactory memories of myself or my husband, of our experiences throughout our life, and use that as a leaping off point to generate scent. And then to see if it, had any correlation to anybody else's life, or if anybody sparked kind of like similar memories, like around the general types of things of like love, loss, success, those different types of universal emotions that we all share.
I created a deck of a couple of different memories for him to choose from. He said, which one do you feel most passionate about? And I said, well, I don't know if it's gonna be for everybody, but this is something that really means a lot to me. It was one of the lowest points for me in my life, with such a dynamic change at the very end. And this was only a couple years ago. So I'm just gonna read off what I wrote to him. And this is sort of the brief of the sense memory. So what I wrote is, there's a whale that for some reason vocalizes in a frequency. Yes, a whale, and a mammal in the water, the big one. Don't have to explain that. There's a whale that for some reason vocalizes in a frequency that no other whale can hear. And this is actually a true occurrence of this one whale. Its frequency does not match any other frequency of other whales, so it can't communicate, and it's known as the loneliest whale, and it just calls out and just nothing happens because the other whales can't hear him. So year after year it migrates around the globe, calling it out to no reply, a low rumbling 52 hertz hum. And if you hear this sound, it's just this earth rumbling, but very like melodic and soft, soothing tone. This is a natural phenomenon. My best friend Mike has heavily researched and dedicated a large part of his life sharing.
My name is Mike Ames, and for a few years now I've been recording the song of the 52 Hertz Whale onto cassette tapes and even a few vinyl records, and mailing them to people all over the world.
This was mine. This was so it's the sound of the whale, but it's re-recorded on this Bruce Springsteen cassette tape. And so he just gets tapes and tapes over them. I'll put a link to that. So working together with Mike on a massive creative endeavor, it became a calling of the heart to me too, because we would always talk about it. We would play it every once in a while, and it would just be very comforting to me, and it kind of like was a bond between me and him. So in every major heartfelt creation of mine, I've hidden an audio track of that bassy bellow of a lonely whale in key moments of that story, calling out to my destiny.
The movement someone does may not be what someone else sees. Like for someone, it's like more personal, and with someone else watching it, it's like, oh, this is really clear, clean movement.
I think that's cool.
Yeah. Like, dance is pretty much up to anyone's interpretation. Like, there's no right answer.
All of my stop motion films have it in it, and you'll feel it more than anything if you have headphones on. But otherwise, you probably won't know it's there. Momentum and success crescendoed as Mike and I worked together. The call got louder and deeper. Then, we were both laid off. The jobs got smaller, further apart. Mike moved across the country, the tides receded, far from the sea, lost in a dark forest of thoughts, emotionally drained, and watching the flickers of creativity fade in my eyes, coming home from my 9-to-5 job. So kind of traumatic, your best friend moves away, and somebody you've actually done something in your life with that you really want to continue doing. And that's making really heartfelt films and animations and everything. So a lot of that was like tied to this sound and my friend. I had come to terms with something. I looked myself in the rearview mirror and verbalized aloud, maybe my days of creation, exhilaration, and success were behind me, and maybe that was okay. Like, I really felt that. I really felt like maybe the biggest things that I've ever done have occurred, and now I just have to get by and pay the bills and kind of say goodbye to that. And maybe I don't have to be this animation director, you know, and this might be it.
What touched me about it is that it's such a relatable experience, because I think that we all go through moments like that in our lifetime where we question and we think, oh, if this is this the pinnacle, is this that, you know?
I look back at a black typewriter Mike gifted me, which is sitting on my table right here, with the inscription, "To the next great thing." Suddenly I hear a call out in the distance, a bassy rumbling. In my mind, a fire flashes out of large gnarled wood. An aura of passion surrounds as embers flick around me. Visions emerge, colors, pen to paper. I am the only one that can hear destiny calling back. And this really happened. Like, all this stuff, like, I felt like I was at the lowest low. Nothing was there, and it just, something hit me at my lowest, and it was this creative spark that just really, really took over my body. And for the next couple months, things weren't the same. The next day, on my lunch break, my fingers lower onto the slowly warming laptop keys, and for the first time, start writing. And I've never written a screenplay or a script before in my life. I've always wanted to, I've always needed to. I've always I don't have the writing background or just that regiment. Just keep writing. I didn't even know what to do. I just knew I had all of these visions in my mind that I had to get on paper. So that's pretty much the brief. I broke it down. It's a dark, dry, brooding wood and resinous cloud, suddenly bursting with sparks of created visions, songs of the heart, and endless possibilities. Fear and self-doubt are cast into the cold as your candle burns bright into dawn.
Yeah, well, knowing something about you too is I know that it's going to be a very deep, deeply spiritual fragrance. And knowing your proclivities to different fragrances after watching you for some time is that you tend to dive into these deeper, longer lasting, soulful notes, which I think is packed into the story that you've sent to me.
So my note ideas, and I don't know what this was just where my head was at the time. I don't think this is the exact note breakdown of what this was ultimately going to be, but pine, cedar, papyrus, incense, and within that frankincense, musk, dark patchouli, vanilla, and ambergris. And ambergris is the only one that really, or the ambergris and the papyrus is for like that typewriter, paper kind of feel, and the ambergris symbolizing kind of the whale.
Like the ambergris is interesting because like you call it 52, and you mentioned when you're mixing the soundtracks, and you put that into anything that you're working in, that I think ambergris is like almost that representative here, because it's going to be that pushing through line, but it'll be so supportive and so like just behind the scenes that you can.
Right. What I want to get out of this is definitely working with Kyle. That's my main objective, is just to see a working relationship, and I just love talking to him and like geeking out about different things like musical theater and creativity and art and perfume and raw materials and stuff. But as far as the perfume, what I want out of it, I'm looking for a perfume that might inspire somebody else that's at that point, or just someone who's kind of stagnant in like how I am now. I'm not as, it's the situation isn't as dire, and you just need that like little push to like, yeah, let's do something. Let's do something, anything. And the biggest thing you can do is the smallest thing you can do to get yourself to the next step. It's a fragrance to push you in the right direction and to keep you there. One of the fragrances that does this for me is Bloodline from Henley Perfumes. And once I spray that on, because it's such a precious thing to me, because it is the smell that I remember pushing me while I was writing. So I would spray it on and connect, and then it would just surround me and hover around me, and it was just this, it kept me in a sort of a creative trance so that I could just forget about the fear and the logistics of everything and just get into the creative space and say, what if? So I don't think this is an everyday scent. I mean, it could be. I hope it's a little bit more wearable than just utility, but I think I'm going for like a utilitarian scent that is an adornment. It is something that you want to surround yourself. It's like a creative fog that you put around yourself that blocks out any negativity, that blocks out anything that reminds you of you can't. And it's just a cloud of let's do it.
I definitely want to put out things that are polarizing. Like I either want you to like love it or I want you to like, ooh, turn away from it.
Yeah.
And there's a musical a couple of years ago called Title of Show, and I love this musical. There's a song in it called 9 People's Favorite Things. And the line is, I'd rather be 9 people's favorite thing than 100 people's 9th favorite thing. And that's kind of where I've like built this, you know, the idea of what I'm putting out for this brand is like, I don't want to please like everybody and just kind of like be low on the list. I want to have like 5 people who just love this. And,
right.
You know, it's their favorite thing.
With the creation of this project, from the start to finish of this becoming what it is right now in this box to an actual bottle of perfume, I want to see if it can push me to write a short. And the short film that I have in mind is something that I've been thinking about for a long time. I have a ton of notes for it. I just need to put it on the page. It's weird when your brain says stuff to you like, what if this is the end game? What if this is like it? And I think you just have to get in a different frame of mind. And I hope that this does that. I hope it does it for me, but I also hope it does it for you. I know that there's something probably on your back burner. There's probably a project or something that you are just pushing off, and days are going by, years are going by, and I hope to push somebody to do something, even the tiniest bit. If you want to be a poet, just to pick up a pen and write your first word, and that's it. Because as soon as you do that, everything else kind of falls into place. All I would have to do is turn on my laptop and then get a blank page, and once I'm staring at a blank page, you just write down, okay, I'm just gonna write down one sentence, and then you wake up like 30 minutes later and you have something there. So I hope this inspires you to do something. Go back to school, bake that bread that you've always wanted to do, start sewing, get in touch with a loved one, get that telescope, and I don't know, there's tons of things that I'm sure that you'd want to do, that you're scared of doing, or you just that you're putting off. And I hope this helps. And this might be something that doesn't speak to that smell might not translate, but I have an idea of what that smell is, and this might be completely different from that, but it might actually be the right thing. It will be the right thing. So I love this. This is the OSM graphic design label on this box. And then I don't know how many little jewels were on this when it was sent from Texas, but I have one. I always love little adornments when things are sent to me. So another experiment I want to do is actually test it out a little bit and give it to a couple people that are artists and see what comes out of it. If it's nothing, it's nothing. If it's, you know, a lyrical dance or a poem or something, see how they interpret it or how it makes them feel, and just wanted to see their takes on it. Ooh. Okay. So we have, whoa! That's the one. That's the one we're gonna pick. There are 5 different fragrance samples here, 5 testers. And all of the OSM perfumes are numbered, and they have a very special number assigned to them that has something to do with the idea behind the fragrance. So this one is entitled 52, and the reason is that it's the 52 hertz hum, which is the lonely whale hum. That's the frequency. I don't even know what this is. Ooh. That one doesn't even have a name on it. Interesting. Well, we have 5 different samples. I don't know what they are yet. Very excited to start this journey. I hope that I can keep you in the loop with everything and kind of tell you what's going on at every moment. So this is Gino. It's time for me to stop talking about fragrance and start getting into these test sprayers for 52. All right, thanks. Bye. Bye, Kyle.
Bye.